Welcome, Pisces, to your 2024 yearly reading. And what we have here are 12 cards on the table, and each card is going to represent a month of the year that is going to give you an idea of what you'll be dealing with for that particular month. So, you're going to be shocked, and just as shocked as I am. Out of the 12 cards here, you have 8 of them that are major arcana. And I'm not going to lie, I wanted to redo this. I thought there's no way the Pisces is not going to believe me. And I'm just like, I've never seen this before. So here we go. Let's look at this. So this is going to be a major, major year for you, Pisces. The Knight of Wands is in reverse for January. For February, you have your first major arcana, which is the Judgment card in reverse. March, you have the Tower in reverse. And then in April, you have the Hierophant, another major arcana. So here you have like 3 in a row, and I was shocked, and they were just coming out. Then you have the Magician card in reverse, and I will tell you that I shuffled and shuffled these before I came. So Chariot card for June. That's an incredible first row. And the second part of the year in July, you have the Ace of Cups. You have the Two of Swords for August. September, you have the Sun in reverse, another major arcana. And you have, for October, you have the Hangman. Oops, another major arcana here. So Ace of Swords in reverse for November. And finally in December, it was interesting to see where this was going to all end up. And you ended up with another major arcana in reverse, the High Priestess. So let's take a look at this amazing reading here. And I'm like, I can't believe that major arcana for me are significant, changes that are going to take place for you. So, might be because there's so many changes. It could be a tumultuous year where you're really growing and working on yourself. So let's begin. Let's see. You come out and, with the fiery Knight of Wands to start you off in January. And the fiery Knight of Wands upright is my knights are all about in my deck are all about the adolescent part of us. I call them the freedom fighters. And if you know adolescence, if you remember yourself as an adolescent, or it's the age where you just don't want to be controlled by anybody, and you want to be free. You want to have the freedom to do what you want to do. And so I'm seeing that you're coming out here in January, wanting this freedom to do what you want to do. And that means with the wands, it's creativity, or moving towards what our purpose is. So many times we sit on this journey and we think, why am I here? What is my purpose? And what am I supposed to be directed towards? And this knight is coming out for you and wanting to get out. This fiery knight wants to do something, create something, wants to change their life, wants to have the freedom to do that. And it's in reverse, so it's very blocked. And you can imagine when you block a teenager from doing what they want to do and trying to control them, there's a lot of anger here that might be simmering here for you in January, or maybe even there can be depression. Sometimes you can really fall into this hopelessness of, you wanting to do something so badly and take your life in a new direction, but you're feeling very blocked, because there's either it's blocked or resistance to it, or maybe someone, for some reason, you're not allowed to, or maybe this is the belief system that's coming to you. Sometimes this is the time when we want to do something, we get blocked, and we really have to look at, why am I blocked, or who's blocking me, or who told me I couldn't do this, right? Because this card's all about control. And who controlled you as an adolescent? Who told you couldn't do something, right? So these are the things you have to look at in January. In February, this is what's happening in February here. So the Judgment card comes up in reverse. Now this card is really an interesting card. I really like this card. this angel over here is calling these people to come up, to come alive again, to become, to they're they're becoming reborn, coming out of their coffins. And there's a call here. The Judgment card is a call from within. It's an intuitive call, and what it is it's a call from the universe, is what it is, to do something. And so, I see you in January as, wanting to be free to do something, whatever that project or whatever it is you want to do for yourself. And the universe, your intuition is calling you to do it, but that is in reverse as well. So even though you're coming up with this big bang of wanting to do something in January, and feeling the nudge here, feeling the call from the universe, the call from within, and you're quite blocked, or there's a resistance, or something's going on here, and you're gonna struggle a bit with the first couple months here of wanting to get something going here. And sometimes when something needs to happen in our life, or the universe wants to take us in a certain direction, believe me, I've had many of these, it kind of sends us a baseball bat. And this is what the tower moment for me is. It's like, there have been some red flags here, or things that you need to take care of, and I think this is all in relationship to what you want to bring forth, And so the Tower card moment will come up here as kind of that big nudge that says, okay, the universe has told you, we've given you red flags, we've helped you this much, and now you're not taking the chance, right? And it's very interesting that this Tower card has come up here, because you've been quite blocked for January and February. But it's a Tower card in reverse, so what does that mean? Well, I like to call that the big final red flag, the final big red flag that's coming out for you, that's saying, there is a tower. If you don't sort of figure out, why you can't bring this forth, why you can't, if it's a project or something you want to do, or a change for yourself, if you can't do it, if you're just not able to, you're very blocked here, well, the Tower moment is going to come in and say, you know what, here you go. Because there's another final big red flag here that's coming for you from the Tower moment, when it's in reverse, saying, this is what's happening in March if you don't look at this, and why can't you do this for yourself? And what's happened in April is very interesting, because I think you're going to start to get some answers as to why you're so blocked. The Hierophant card comes in, and this is this papal figure, and here you have their figures that, are maybe his disciples, or and this card to me it has a religious connotation to it, in that, maybe the religion part aspect does apply to you or not. But the Hierophant card speaks to me of all these institutions in your life, whether it be, school, or society even, or religion, or just the people that have taught you how to obey, or what to obey and what not to obey. So those belief systems that we've picked up from all of these institutions, and it could be higher education as well. So what belief systems have you picked up as a child or an adolescent, or later on, where they've told you to do certain things or not do certain things, or it's all about obedience, right? So I'm wondering if this is what you need to look at, and that's part of your belief systems and your patternings and your conditioning that you've been brought up with, that you really need to, the universe, the Hierophants here saying, well, maybe you need to look at these. Maybe you need to look at this. And this is why you can't, do what you want to do in January, February, March, because this is what maybe is blocking you. It's maybe certain belief systems that are saying, maybe you can't do it for some reason. And, the Magician comes here. and it's in reverse. So the magician is the doer, the manifester that brings something into reality, and here it's a powerful card that's coming up for you. Now, this particular magician, if you look at, he has his wand high up in the air looking for the power from the universe, and he's going to take that power and he's going to act as this lightning rod and he's going to ground it into reality, right? It's not something that he's going to keep. It's not this power that he's going to get from the universe and keep it, It's not for us to keep. It's for us to use for other people and for some purposeful thing. And he has everything in front of him. He has the four elements. He has the pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the wands. And, when I started my own shadow work journey and healing journey, I was told that you have all your answers inside of you. And I hated hearing that because I was so used to people controlling me when I was younger. And I just got so used to relying on people to control me. And because, like I said, I was used to that. And this card is saying you have everything in you. You have everything in you. You have your internal guidance system. But right now it's blocked. It's blocked. And there needs to be some movement that needs to take place here. Something needs to happen. I mean, you already got the tower, in reverse here. And so it really sounds like this first, part of this year is really a shakeup of, how are you going to bring this into fruition, whatever it is you want to do for yourself. And the Chariot card comes as a final card in the first half of the year. And the Chariot card, it can speak of movement for sure, but there's a different kind of movement here. Like I talked about your internal guidance system here in order to bring something with the magician. Well, this particular charioteer is going to try to make these sphinxes move with his mind. He's going to use his mind, right? He's not, notice the difference between these two individuals and their wands. And the magician takes his wand and he raises it up to the universe and he asks the universe for support here. Whereas this particular charioteer here is not asking the universe. He's using his own mind, He's leaving this city. He's going to go out and he's going to do big things, but he's kind of stuck. He's cemented. And, when you use your own willpower and your own mind to get you where you want to go, it doesn't get you far. It'll get you to a certain point, and then what happens is you become cemented and you start to, get really stagnant and you become your chariot, and this is what's happening to this chariot person here. So this isn't a card of movement because there is no movement here, though there needs to be, but not by your own willpower, right? You need to go inwards, it's saying. You need to go inwards and start to find your own internal guidance. And when you do that, it's very interesting, the card that comes up for you in July, because the universe is offering you, is giving you a gift, right? Is gifting you with this beautiful cup of emotions and feelings and desires. And that's what's going to happen when you start to go inwards. You start to get in touch with, in July, you start to get in touch with some more emotions. And, if you're looking at emotions of, like things that might come up with the Hierophant, starting to look at these obedience, these pattern systems, and where did these come from that you can't do what you want to do because you're not allowed to, or it just wouldn't be right forever, whatever reason it is that you want to do for yourself, that, people maybe won't validate you or support you, but the universe is saying, now it's time to go inwards, and you're going to start to feel on a deeper level, we're going to go deeper here, and we're going to get to some of the answers that you need to get to, because in August you're going to find that you have a decision to make. And you're going to be a bit stuck up in your head, and making, a choice or a decision to make. And, you have these two swords. You're trying to make the decision between these two swords, and you're so blinded up in your head with this decision, so stuck and not knowing what to do, that you don't even notice that these two swords are exactly the same. So, the universe just wants you to make a choice. We're always going on the right path. And that's what we have to remember in our healing journey. We're always going on the right path. But sometimes we do, tend to go off a bit, but we come back. We come back. But there's a real decision needed here. And in order to make that decision, if you notice there's some water behind you and you don't even notice it. You don't notice that. Water is, when we go, water can mean the unconscious. Water can mean our emotions. It has everything to do with our emotions. Emotions are meant to flow in and then flow out, right? Emotions aren't meant to get stuck. And so, you're being asked here in July to look at your emotions, go deeper, and not be so stuck up in your head when you're trying to make decisions. You need to go inwards to feel some of these, maybe these losses that you've had from childhood because you weren't allowed to do something then, and you're feeling the same way that you can't do it because you still have these belief systems, these hierophant belief systems here that you need to process all of that. And then in September you have the Sun card that comes out for you, and it's in reverse. And I think for me the Sun card has this little child here, and I want you to think of how much joy, how easy it was for you as a child to find joy in the simplest things. And as an adult, when we are, when we are just loaded with or just feeling overwhelmed with these belief systems that we have, and then we're not allowed to be free to be that child and feel that joy of a child. And I think this is what's coming up for you, is you're realizing that, do I have any joy in my life? I mean, and part of doing what you want to do is what's going to bring you joy. It's going to bring you this freedom that you so wanted to came out with in January. And so, but it's really blocked right now, and I can see why it's blocked, because I feel like there's something that you really, really want to do, and you're just feeling like you can't do it for some reason, and that's blocking your joy. And I think you're going to start to get in touch with that fact that, this isn't, whatever I'm doing now, it's not bringing me joy, and I want to do something else. And I see you, taking a different perspective in October. October is the hangman, and he looks upside down and he sees things in a different way. He starts to see things in a different way. And that's because when we go inwards and we find out, what are these patternings, these belief systems that were handed to me when I was younger, they're not serving me anymore. And when you really, this is a card, a number 12, right? So, and if you were to do the mathematics with it, it would be 12, and then it would, if you add those two together, 1 and 2 would be reduced to 3, which is the creativity card. And for some reason I was asked to do that on this card, and I haven't before, but this is really a card of getting really creative with yourself, and finally maybe realizing that I want to be me, I want to do what I want to do, and I want to see my life in a different perspective, and you're starting to see that. More self-awareness is coming here, and you're starting to trust yourself more, right? Trust yourself to do what you want to do. And November comes in with the Ace of Swords. And again, it's in reverse, but the Ace is always in pure offering of the suit. And so the Suit of Swords is about, your mental thoughts, your belief systems, your patternings, your conditioning, everything that people told you about yourself, your authenticity, getting to the truth of who you are. And this is in reverse. So there's a resistance I'm feeling to continue to go inwards, and find out your truth and your authenticity. Like, who are you? When you start stripping away all of this, these belief systems that you've been holding on to, and your patternings, and all the stuff that you tell yourself in your head, those are all untruths. It's not you. And I think, the universe is saying, here's this sword. We want you to take it so that you can cut through all this bullshit that you've told yourself about yourself. But there is a resistance here to taking it on your perm. And I think what's happening finally in December is, the High Priestess finally is our last major arcana card. And the last one. You're having a powerful year here, Pisces. And so here's the last major arcana card in the High Priestess. And she's blocked. So let's talk about her for a minute. The High Priestess is the wisdom that we get in touch with. This magician over here, when he wants to do something, he raises his wand up high and he's going to get in touch with the highest form of wisdom that you can, and that is your intuition. The High Priestess, she is wisdom. She is pure intuition, right? She is that inner guidance that we have, which is called our intuition. It's the feminine side to us. And a lot of people think that she guards, or you can't get past these two pillars here, right? And because there's this veil of abundance back here, and we can get past that. We can get to know our own intuition and get to know our own inner guidance. And we just have to go through these pillars. People just don't know how to do it. And so this card in December is asking you to ground so that you can get in touch with your intuition again, right? Get in touch with that higher crone wisdom here. It's here on my table over here too. It's the phase of the moon here, the moon goddess is one of the moon goddesses. The crone is the highest form of, she has it on her head here, her headpiece. And so this is your intuition, and it's blocked. So this is what's going to give you all your answers. This is what's going to lead you to your inner guidance. Always, always, when you don't know, it's kind of the last card here that says when you're blocked and you're not sure where to go, you can get connected again to who you are and where you're supposed to go. And that is by going inwards to find your inner guidance, find your intuition. So this was a beautiful reading for you, Pisces. So powerful for you. You have an amazing year coming up, and I wish you all the luck in the world. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.